Hey everyone, today we are showcasing some test hands of the Gate Guardian archetype boosted with our custom support. This is a deck that of course received its long awaited support at the beginning of the year, as well as a couple of additional cards that were revealed just about a month ago. But since we had already planned ours out by then, we just decided to mash it all together, and here's how it looks in action. So, starting off with Labyrinth Wall Shadow, Suijin, Gate to Despair, Ash Blossom, and Dungeon Worm of the Labyrinth. So not the fastest of hands, but it does have some disruption here. We'll open up with Labyrinth Wall Shadow, which has the ability to place one of the three pieces, gate pieces from our deck, and or banished pile as a continuous spell on our field. So let's go ahead and grab Kazijin. And we're going to set this Gate to Despair and end our turn right here. So again, not the fastest of openings, but at least we have some disruption to get us to our next turn. If our opponent is able to get rid of that Labyrinth Wall Shadow, we do have the ability to grab another one. So you would use that to grab the other copy. And then you can special summon a level 5 or 7 monster from your hand, so that would be the Suijin. We can disrupt our opponent's combos with the Ash Blossom, disrupt them in their battle phase by using Dungeon Worm of the Labyrinth. On our ensuing turn, if we still have that Kazijin on board, we can go into Gate Guardian of Wind and Water, which can give us 2 spell trap negates. We also have Gate to Despair in our graveyard, where if we control a Gate Guardian monster, we can banish this card from the grave to negate the activation of an opponent's monster effect. So 1 monster effect negation, 2 spell trap negations. Looks pretty good after turn 2. Let's see if we can get something going a bit faster with the second test hand. And yeah, we can. So we're going to open up with Fusion Deployment, Ash Blossom, Labyrinth Wall Shadow, Labyrinth Heavy Tank, and Shadow Glow the Labyrinth. So let's go ahead and use this guy to grab a Labyrinth Wall card from our deck to our hand. Since we don't have a way to bring out the Paradox Labyrinth Wall with ease, let's just go ahead and grab a copy of the Field Spell, even though we already have one. This isn't a hard once per turn on Labyrinth Wall Shadow, so if you wanted to, you could play both of them and get 2 gate pieces on the board. We don't need to do that. We just need 1. We can keep that other one in reserve. Use the Field Spell ability to grab Kazijin. And then, depending on what our opponent's game state looks like, if we're going second, or depending on if we're going first, how much we want to overextend, you can normal summon the Labyrinth Heavy Tank without needing to tribute. Use its ability, has the same ability as the Labyrinth Wall Shadow to place one of the gate pieces on board. Let's grab Suijin. And then if our opponent has a monster, since we control a Labyrinth Wall card, Labyrinth Heavy Tank would pop a monster on their board. So here we are. Again, if you're going first, you could just use these 2 to go into Gate Guardian of Wind and Water. And the reason for that is because as a going first move, being able to negate your opponent's spells and traps, at least 2 of them on their turn, is a very solid opening against most decks, especially if you don't know what you're up against. Just having those 2 spell trap negates can be a nice insurance policy. If you wanted to overextend, you could use either Fusion Deployment to reveal the Gate Guardian combined, special summon one of the 3 materials listed on it. We'll go for the one that we don't currently have, Sangha. So now we can go into Gate Guardian combined. We could also have used the other copy of Labyrinth Wall Shadow to grab Sangha instead. But again, can go into a different number of combinations here since we do have all 3 of them. So let's see if we don't use Wind and Water, we don't use the combined, we could then go into the Searcher of the bunch, the Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind, and use that guy's ability to, again, search a spell or trap that mentions the 3 pieces from our deck to our hand. And this kind of just depends on what the game state looks like. So I'm going to backtrack here just because there is some different combos that we could have done here. So if we, instead of using that Fusion Deployment, used the Labyrinth Wall Shadow to grab the Kazijin and use the Labyrinth Heavy Tank to grab the Sangha. Could banish these 2 guys to go into Thunder and Wind. Use this guy's ability to grab one of the cards that mentions all 3 pieces. So let's go with Gate to Freedom. And now we'll use Fusion Deployment to reveal the Gate Guardian combined and special summon one of the 3 pieces that is listed on it. So let's grab Suijin, and since we summon Suijin, not declaring his effect, declaring Gate Freedom's effect, since we summon Suijin, we can special summon another one of the 3 pieces with a different name that is banished from our hand or deck. So we could grab Kazijin. And so again, here we could, first thing we would do is use that Gate to Freedom's graveyard effect. Since we control a Gate Guardian monster, banish it to draw a card. Alright, so a lot of different things coming together. We can use the other copy of Labyrinth Wall Shadow to grab back that Sangha. And now we can go into Gate Guardian combined right here. Or if we wanted to instead, we could just use the Wind and Water to bring out the Spell Trap Negator. So here we have the Spell Trap Negation, the Searcher, some Disruption here, and then more fuel for future plays. So that does it for the Gate Guardian support. As you can see, very capable of pumping out formidable boss monsters that are further boosted by those custom effects, whether they'll be those hand effects such as Dungeon Worm, or those graveyard effects like Gate to Despair and Gate to Freedom. You can check out the rest of the showcase there with that card in the corner. Now, rest assured that this isn't the end of customizations, but we are taking a pause here now that we have 25 decks to work with. Be sure to like and subscribe for a big announcement coming up tomorrow.